What up, Ojizzle?
Man, I'm chilling, bro. What's the
Hold on.
business, man?
Am I still allowed to call you OG? I know you don't. I know you like you're Tony. Don't call me OG. Gidry.
Presently, brother, I would prefer to be called Tony in the current atmosphere of music.
Okay.
It seems that the artists are more inclined to lean on the older heads,
Right.
to have somebody to blame.
Mm.
So guys call me OG and all of this, and then I give them what I believe is good wisdom or understanding of how
Give him
to
some
work.
OG game.
And ignore that shit, and then they want to still call me OG now, man. Just call me Tony, bro.
Okay,
If
Tony.
you're going to be about our conversation, then just call me Tony, bro. If you're just taking it in just to hear what a got to say, just call me Tony, bro.
So Tony, I am the connect then. I'm here with Tony, I am the connect. And your boy Kingpin, a.k.a. Rap Juggernaut. And as you can tell, humble beginnings, right? We wanted to crank back up, OG. Shout out to all the other podcasts and all of our business partners and friends out there in the world, and everybody's still moving around. But we kind of been in the dungeon working on some stuff here for the people.
You know, for a seed to grow, for a seed to germinate, it has to be buried first, and then covered, and then nurtured. And so a few times along our journey, we've tried to or started to share our seedling before it was nurtured enough.
Right.
And so now that we've got a pretty strong foundation.
Okay.
Speaking for myself, because you've been around.
Right.
I got lucky coming in again.
Well, we've been testing some theories lately. We've been testing some things out. We've been making a list and checking it twice. And it is the Tuesday after South by Southwest.
It is.
A lot of things happened over the weekend.
Yes.
A lot of viral moments. A$AP Rocky was hanging out of a helicopter. Jello tore it down. Sexy Red went up.
Yes.
A lot of people tore down Rolling Loud in Los Angeles.
Rolling Loud went crazy. South by Southwest, we heard some weirdo news about. I'm glad that Beehives
straightened it out.
South by Southwest.
All right, so hold on. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So we're just going to crank up with South by Southwest. Let's just crank up with South by Southwest.
Okay. I'm cool with cranking up with South by Southwest. We got to talk about Jello too and the Rolling Loud joint.
And A$AP. Yeah, very some different, some very interesting findings, OG, that I believe all of the people that are going to tune into this podcast are going to be looking forward to. So Uncut Game, we're starting from the ground up. So as you can see, humble beginnings. Look for the scene to change. Look for the lighting to change. We're going to get our microphone game up and everything else. But, we're always talking about don't be afraid, just do it. There's never a perfect time to get started. All of those things. So, kind of putting our money where our mouth is, OG. We just decided to crank up.
Yes.
We manifested it.
Yes, and now we're crunk up.
And now we crunk all the way up.
All the way up, man.
So South by Southwest.
South by Southwest, the controversial music festival that's educational and party and cross genres.
It's not all music, right?
A festival that I love for the interactive part.
Right.
Now,
the film part is pretty cool. I was like this past year old when I found out that you could submit music videos. For all of the people tuning in, if you guys didn't know your music videos, you can submit them for consideration and for review during the film portion of South by Southwest. Who'd have thunk it?
And in the interactive portion, not just being super a nerd, but I'm a nerd.
Right.
The interactive portion kind of unveils to us and to artists how crucial a role technology plays in the industry that music artists think is the music industry.
Right.
That industry is controlled by technology now. Algorithms control what people see.
Right.
You have to search and dig for what you want to find.
Right.
And so the interactive part for South by was always a big part for me.
It was the gold mine.
To me.
Right.
To me. Now, the music part is not been... I've seen people say music is dead, it's been taken away. Music being so much entertainment for those people that do come to South by Southwest over the course of the entire time.
Right.
And we know people get a 2-week vacation.
Right.
So South by Southwest is like 3 weekends.
Right.
Everybody can't do that.
Of course.
All the artists can't do that. It's a new business. It's a new model of business where people may have a job or own a business and be a musician or a manager or a concert promoter. And now they can consolidate the portion that they want to join in on over a certain amount of days without missing any of the entertainment.
I'll tell you what I did to prove that theory, OG.
Okay, talk to me.
I signed up to become a volunteer and got approved.
Boom.
Yeah, I just didn't go. I didn't go. It would have been fun to go. It would have been it would have been a gas. It was a lot of people. Shout out to all the artists that went out there and performed, and shout out to all the promoters that we know and all the brands that hosted stages and everything else. But I was underwhelmed, OG. I was underwhelmed, and instead of going somewhere and just omitting that negative energy and being a bitter bird, you know what I mean? I just stayed home and I refined some stuff and I watched. Mm-hmm. And I was observant of what was going on, seeing if there was any social media moments, any viral moments, anything that we can, we've identified a moment or we've identified someone that is, you know what I'm saying, noteworthy, that moved the needle.
Right.
And the more I looked into it, the more I was looking at some of the artists that we follow and that we support or that we respect, performing at South by and promoters hosting events. The more I dug into it to show those people support, the more disappointed I felt. Yeah. Well, I often find a lot of times that there's not a lot of planning put into how to make an event successful beyond pulling it off. Like, how do you make an event successful after the event? How do you make the successful during the event? How do you make the successful pre-event? Like, there's a process for this. And what I saw was a lot of disorganization. What I saw was a lot of last minute people that was like, man, I'm not going to go. I'm going to go. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go. And then they ended up going. And because of that straddling the fence, I don't think they really reaped the benefits from it. And that's why I think, when you open up Twitter or when you open up the news and it's like national headlines, Twitter is over, when they're on Twitter talking about, South by Southwest is over. And then you got B Hobbs like, what are you talking about, man? We're going to incorporate music into all of it, yes, into more aspects of it instead of giving music just this dedicated window. So much more is encompassing music and the music industry. Film is directly tied into the music industry. Technology it's a division. Music is a division of technology. So there's a lot of different reasons why incorporating music into the grander scheme of things would be a great idea. Now, I say that all of that to say this. That without a plan for artists to go to South by Southwest, it's a wasted expense. I don't want to call it a failure. I know you hate when I use the words disaster, chaos, failure. You guys are going to hear a lot of that during this podcast. Be thankful for Tony. Don't call me OG. I'm known as I Am the Connect, for keeping me humble and civil, and for my good wife for giving me some good advice, man, because, you guys definitely need to hear the message, so I got to figure out how to deliver it to you. So I'm not going to filter down and dumb down who I am, but I am going to be thoughtful of how I approach it, you guys. So this is for you guys with the help of OG.
And so that's the Kingpin disclaimer. That's the rap juggernaut disclaimer. Because as we go forward in this particular conversation, it's a lot of artists that, I don't want to say a lot, but there are artists that go to South by with no plan at the last minute, maybe no promo materials or very light promo materials. And they're going out there to figure out how to make it work. They just don't know. I don't want to pause right there, but it's like I almost said God blesses fools and children, but I don't want to call the young, naive artist a fool.
Right.
Because to the outsiders, Noah was...
God does not bless the people that are unprepared and the ones that don't work. Because I think somewhere in the Bible it says that, faith without work is dead. If I'm paraphrasing, of course, because I'm not a scholar of biblical verses, but right. I'm almost positive that there's something in the Bible that says, you might want to slow your roll.
I'm 100% confident that is in there to our believers and non-believers. So, but when you believe in yourself, no matter what you believe in spiritually, when you believe in yourself and you decide that, hey, I'm going to go out here, I'm going to make this happen, I'm going to figure out what's going on in South by Southwest. My favorite rapper in South by Southwest, my favorite videographer, the guy I want to manage me is at South by Southwest. So I'm going to go and meet him. And you go, you don't have a pass because you don't have the money. But you got the gas money to get there. You got a partner in the city that got a room or something. Or you'll sleep in your car for a night or drive back and forth wherever you're from. Right. And you can go out there, those artists can go out there and have what they deem a successful weekend.
You know what? I'll say this. And in lieu of the recent statistical facts, if you will, that most people enjoy podcasts via audio, not necessarily video. So for those of you guys that are tuned into video, we really appreciate you. But for those of you guys that are listening on the audio podcast, OG, how do we tell them what to do? How do we give them the advice? Every podcast tells you should be doing more. Every podcast, every executive, every talking head tells you that you have to have a list. They tell you if you don't have a plan, then you're already planning to fail. I'm one of those guys. But you know what we do have, OG? We got that list.
And so can we get into this then? Does that mean we can get into this? It means we can get into what we'll call the plug and the play.
Okay, let's do it. I like it.
Since I'm the connect,
okay,
and you are the guy who believes that everything got to be done
right.
for us to have the most successful, because I'm in agreement with you, there's a million ways to do any kind of thing, whatever it may be. And then there's one best way for the person based on their resources and their abilities and their circumstances.
Absolutely.
That's what I believe. It may be 100 best ways, but I believe if we do our research, we can find the best way. At the same time, when we can't do things the best way, we do them the next best way. And we can't do them the next best way, we do the next to the next best way, and so forth and so on.
Right.
So, South by Southwest, it just passed. So we're not rehashing what you could have did.
Festivals, Atlas Festival, Dreamville, the Dreamville Festival.
Music Biz in May.
Music Biz in May. Music in Memphis. You name it. Name a festival, OG, without a list.
A3C.
A3C. Spring break.
Yep. So
the list is endless.
Yeah. So the list is endless for these events and opportunities to network and or learn and or perform.
Correct.
So what are the things that you can do, somebody that nobody knows or that few people know, or you're not known in Atlanta where A3C is, and you're not known in Austin where South by Southwest is? And when I say B Hobbs, who's one of the key people to book at South by Southwest, and you're like, who is that? And I don't know how to get in touch with them. All these excuses of ignorance that artists make. Let's talk about what you can do to get a placement, to get an opportunity, to get what you want out of a festival. My first thing would be some research.
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
Just 2 questions to start my research off, OG.
Okay, talk to me.
I want to know where and I want to know when.
Boom. That's our beginning. We start from where and when. We don't jump to how much does it cost and how much will it cost to get there. And we don't start. We start with where and when.
Absolutely.
Then we go to what.
Correct.
And why.
Yes.
What are we going to do and why are we going here?
Yes.
Then we figure out how much or how do we get there.
Correct.
Like you said, for South by Southwest this year, 2025, you submitted to be a volunteer and got accepted.
Absolutely.
And you decided, we're not going to go since we're building this Art Real Soul stuff.
We're working on the academy, and I think we're going to be better suited. That's why I wanted to record this episode. That's why I was like, we got to record today. We got to get this out before the week is over, because I believe that preparation for South by Southwest 2026, preparation for everything starts today. It started yesterday, which would have been the first day after. But if you know like I know, then you didn't have time to reset. You want to know why? Because you were in Vertical yesterday. You were at the Vertical Music Mixer in Dallas. If you know like I know, leaving South by Southwest, you didn't go home. If you went home, you missed a great opportunity. Yeah. You deviated and you went up the road to go sit down with Vertical and all of those DJs and finalize your networking and then go home. So planning for 2026 really starts today. Right, because we're 2 days removed. You guys are going to watch this episode, I don't know, God willing, Wednesday, Thursday. But this is like fresh. That's the thing about these. I don't want to do a bunch of old, stale content. I don't want to do a whole bunch of the redundant stuff. And you told me, Kingpin, when I watched you on podcasts and I would read some of the comments and I would read some of the engagement, everybody had the same thing to ask. Where is the actionables? And when you planted that seed in my ear, that's what kind of gave us the Uncut Game, because we have to give them actionables. Right? Enough of the motivational talks and you got to do it. They know they got to do it. That's why you're tuning in. That's why you're tuning in, right? That's why you're tuning in, right? Okay, cool. You know you got to do something. Where and when? Why, where, and when?
And so I'm gonna put the why after the where and the when, because the where and the when determines if we can make it.
Yep.
Music Biz Conference in Nashville is in May, mid-May. I forget the dates. It's 2 months away. Maybe you don't have the time. Maybe you need 4 or 5 months as an artist to save up from your job and to get straight with your kids and babysitters and everything. And maybe you need to start looking now in March at A3C in October.
Okay.
Or CD Baby Conference.
Right.
Whichever. Maybe you just go and Google upcoming conferences and festivals. And you look at the ones that are closest to you. And you pick the ones that you can possibly go to. That's just me now. You don't have to think like me. Then we figure out what we're going for and why.
Right.
Then the how is the last part. Because once we decide we want to do something, we can figure out how to get it done. That's what I believe.
Well, you know what we created?
Talk to me.
We created the What's Next blueprint. That's my new thing. What's next?
Right.
Right? Because you got booked to go perform at a festival. What's next?
What's next?
And, you know, as long as we can keep that idea in mind of what's next, then we'll always be ready to plan for the unexpected, to be prepared, and to kind of have an idea of how things are going to go so we can determine the how much, who, and all those other questions, right? So on this blueprint, OG, I want you to take a look at it, and it's right here on this computer. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to do something cool. I'm going to do something funky, OG, we haven't done before.
Talk to me.
I'm going to record this so the people along can see what we got going on as well. How does that sound?
Sounds amazing.
Yeah. So you guys, everybody that's listening right now, pause for a small chronic break. Take us 8 seconds, and we're going to fire up, and I'm going to start recording some of the stuff that we're seeing on here so we can start demonstrating with you guys and really giving you guys, kind of an idea of what it is that we're going to be talking about here. Some actionables.
Yes.
So what we have, is this recording? I think it is. Yeah. What we have here is the What's Next blueprint, right? The festival optimization guide, right? What are we going to talk about? Key points. Merchandise and design strategy. That's off top, OG. Because if I'm going somewhere, I'm trying to sell merch, or I'm rocking my merch.
Everywhere.
All right, cool. What's next? Ad and promo campaigns. What's next? Ticketing and event listings. What's next? Press and media strategy. What's next? Fan engagement preparation. What's next? Post-performance strategy. We give you a breakdown of why this is winning, what's a recommended action for it, right? How to lay the foundation for a pre-event strategy, date and city planning. Know how much time you have for planning and align it with your content releases. Location research, dive into the city. You can't drive, you don't need to. You know what I'm going to use? I'm going to use Google Maps. I'm going to sign up for a Google Earth account, right? Check me out. OG. I'm going to websites. I'm using Google. If I know where and I know when, then the first thing I'm going to do, I'm an artist, I'm pulling up radio stations. I'm going to Google. And I'm pulling up radio stations, OG, and I want to know who's at the radio stations. And then once I get to those websites, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. I'm pulling up their directory. And I'm writing the names down. I'm making a spreadsheet. I'm writing everybody's names down. The email addresses, the times that they're on, their format. Are they on their radio personalities? Are they mixers? I'm doing all of this as I'm going down the list, OG, right?
One question for you.
Come on.
When you're going down the list, how do you keep track? Do you have a spreadsheet?
Yes, I got a Google spreadsheet. Hold on a second, OG. Let me get through this because I'm going to blow your mind away with what we got for these people.
Okay, I just want to make sure nobody get lost.
You don't know this.
Because you're telling me that you're collecting all this information, and I'm wondering how you keeping track.
I'm going to break it down for you guys.
Okay.
That's the beauty about What's Next, the blueprint, is that we're giving you the tools, the information to start your own research.
Okay,
and we're going to give you the tools so that you can start building this monument to greatness that you envision in your mind.
Not to poke at you, sir, in your process. Mm-hmm. But when we was What's Next, then you ain't never told me to open Google Sheets, brother.
I can't tell you to open Google Sheets yet because I'm trying to break down what you get inside the document. Then I'm going to open Google Sheets and unlock your mind to a world of possibilities because you're a nerd. And I know that mining information for you is super important because information is the most valuable commodity in the world.
I just need to know how you keeping track of it. Yes,
date and city planning, right? Content release cycle alignment. What did you say, Kingpin? Content release cycle alignment. Why, OG? That's why I want to know where and when. When is the festival? Is it going to impact a song that's going to release during my cycle? Is there a gap during my release cycle? Can I line up a new release, OG? What if I want to release? Man, I really don't want to give out. What if I want to preview some unreleased music at a festival? We're going to get into that in the next episode, I promise you guys. But definitely something that you need to start thinking about. A promotional attack plan. performance and logistics preparation, during event execution,
using a lot
post
of big
event
words, bro.
Man, listen, this is all of the stuff they get. OG, have you told them about the Artist Academy?
I'm not talking about the Artist Academy yet. We talking right now.
All right, so we're not going to talk about the Artist Academy.
We're going to talk about the Artist Academy when it's time.
They got the blueprint, what it includes, OG. You wanted to know how I keep tabs of it all.
That's what I want to know.
All right, cool. Guess what we have for them?
Talk to me.
We have the What's Next Blueprint Festival touring optimization and master checklist, OG.
Okay, boom. All right.
Now, big name.
Now
big name.
Now I'm with you.
Big name, big word. What's Next Blueprint Festival touring optimization master checklist. That's 8 words, OG. That's like that's like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It's a long, drawn-out word.
I'm in this document right now.
Are you looking at it?
I'm glancing at it now.
All right, so we got an audience tab to start off. We got an events info tab. We have a performance royalty information. We have market information. We have touring checklists. We have a media contact list. We have a media communication tracker. We have an influence campaign tracking. We have DJ clubs and information. We have the DJ streaming profile playlist. We have everything on here. And so promo items and designs checklist.
We got a
collections and merch details. OG set list preparation.
We gotta slow down. Wow. We gotta slow down.
We got so much on here, OG.
We gotta slow down. Man. Because first of all,
I gotta roll up.
The majority.
I hope you guys don't frown up while I roll up, because y'all know I get down. On the other stuff I used to do and the other places I be at, they may not let me smoke. OG, I apologize. Forgive me in advance. I'm getting excited, and this is how I calm down, because this is game changer, OG. Have you seen anything like this before? Have you ever seen anything like the What Next Blueprint?
I see documents like this all the time because I work with you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cheating.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So, so when you ask me that, that's a facetious question that I have to answer honestly, whether the camera's on or not. So, because you know me, so you know I'm going to answer honestly. Fucking right, I seen a better document than this, because we got doper documents than this. So, but anyway, and not talking about the pathway doc. So, what I want us to do in this is to slow down a little and give them some of the beginning pieces in this overview per se. Because like right now, I'm on the set list preparation page.
Boom.
Okay, so hold on.
All right.
Before you take roll the because I'm gonna need some.
I don't have any Georgie. That's illegal. We don't have any. Okay, we have medication. And we're gonna get together. So what do you want to see in the doc?
Okay, so boom. So what I want to go over in the doc, I'm looking at this document now. So, and Kingpin got it somewhere on the screen somewhere right now. So when we go through this joint, we got different pieces. We got our audience tab. We want to know what cities, what locations for us to track. Where are these events that we want to think about going to? What's the name of the event? Who's putting it on? It's a different page. The events info, whatnot. Then we go performance royalty information. And this is what's the location of the venue, the capacity of the venue, what songs are we doing in the venue, what time and date are we performing, so that we can make sure we put our information in the appropriate places so that we get paid. You get paid every time you perform in public. So we want to make sure that we get paid. This is Artist Revenue Solutions. We can talk about what needs to be done and what you need to do. All of these things that we talk about aren't to make you popular and to make you the next big thing that pops up out of nowhere. These methods are to make you get paid. And then you can use your money to buy as much popularity and influence and importance as you want to. The big part for us is that your efforts in making your art are able to be monetized. That's what this guy right here is adamant and loud about, and I'm a little calmer about, because at the end of the day, if you decide to, or you decide not to buckle up and button up all of your business, if you decide not to cross your T's and dot your I's, I'm not going to have to cry about it. Now, I don't want to see your kids cry about it. I don't want to see your family. The majority of people don't believe you're going to win anyway. You're the only person that believes you're going to win.
I had that conversation with an artist just recently. If you don't come out of the studio knowing that nobody wants to hear your music, that nobody cares about, if that's not your mindset going into when you create this song or this content, in my mind, you've already put an obstacle in front of yourself because you're not ready to fight for what you want. You have to believe because that's the reality of it.
This is a whole.
I'm sorry.
Nother,
I am the connect.
This is a whole nother part of my 2 cents in this. It's a vicious truth and a vicious honesty. That's why I like to talk nicely to people about it, because I want to be optimistic with artists about it. Because the majority of y'all not gonna make it. The majority, it's 11 million artists. I think Spotify said it was 60,000, 70,000, 100,000 made a living off of Spotify last year. Or made a living off of streaming last year out of 11 million artists. We work with artists in the top 100,000, top million artists. They don't make rent money from streaming.
Right.
And that's because their business isn't correct. They're not collecting from every avenue in place, their performance rights, neighboring rights, and whatnot. But I don't want to get too far off of the tack that we're talking about. The tack we're talking about is South by Southwest. I'm in this document for events.
Well, South by Southwest is what led us to this document, OG. And what's in this document encompasses all of that and then some. When you really look at this document,
hold on, because you're gonna start talking about the pieces in this document. So let me kind of lead you into a particular piece before you talk about 3 or 4 pieces at a time.
Okay, cool.
Just because we don't know what these people know. You tell people that all the time. I don't know what you know.
Yep.
And so we don't know what these people know. So let's go in and say, I'm on the touring checklist page.
Touring checklist page. Let me find this bad boy.
What's Next Blueprint, Festival Touring Optimization.
Boom, touring checklist.
Touring checklist, bing. So at this point, we figured out the place we're going to go. We've decided, booked our tickets, put our change to the side.
Yep.
And now, bam, we need to start talking about it and getting people who deal with us or like our music to know,
right,
as well as the people who've never had the chance to hear our music as well,
right,
to know that we're going to be at this next big festival.
Okay.
So we need a press release.
And by the way, OG, if they don't want to buy into the whole concept, if they don't want to buy into the whole program, if they don't want to buy into the whole service, a lot of these services we're now offering on artrevsoul.com at a rate.
Well,
so if you don't have a publicist and you can't get a press release, you can go to artrevsoul.com
and get you a press release. It's just another thing too. So
we're not going to pitch the services. The services sell themselves, but we are going to make you aware that they're available. Is that cool?
Of course.
I don't want to sell you guys anything. This sells itself.
We're in business, and we've been operating however long we've been operating. We don't advertise. We operate off of word of mouth. And so in this operation, in this successful business that we run, that we can prove to you the levels and the ways that we've improved artist streamings and earnings. That's the reason we named ourselves Artist Revenue Solutions. In the midst of this, we know that this doesn't fit the playground legend.
Right.
That's not going to be regimented enough to go to the combine and do stellar numbers and answer their Wonderlic exam properly to be deemed a top prospect. That's not those. This is for the blue chip, the guys who know they're going to win,
right,
who not going to give up,
right,
don't quite understand why everything not clicking. Because it's some people that know that they not about to lose at this stuff. They know there's no way that they can lose. And every artist we ever work with that know for a fact that they're going to win, find a way to.
Absolutely.
With or without guys like us.
Absolutely.
We're just able to help guys like that.
Yes, we're able to help them establish ownership and find the best way. I think it's not about doing it the right way or the wrong way. It's about doing it the best way. And if we can't do it the best way, we do it the next best way and so forth and so on. And that's our vicious cycle. Remaining the forever optimist that you are.
Yeah.
Me, I think you're wasting my time. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your investors' money. You're wasting your distributors' time. You're wasting the DJ's time. Me, personally, that's how I feel. But it's okay because I'm not going to express that. Even though I just did. I'm just telling you how I feel. I'm here with OG. I'm here for you guys. Uncut Game Podcast is here to give you guys actionables, Is that correct?
Actionable.
We're here to give you guys guidance. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And then we're here to give you guys some access that you wouldn't get from anywhere else.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, information is power.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And where you get it from?
Where do you get
power? Where do you get the information from?
Well, I get my power from information put to use. That's what I believe knowledge is.
Knowledge is power only when applied?
I believe that information put to use is experience. And that experience perfected leads to wisdom and intelligence.
Valuable. Insight.
That's what I believe.
Okay.
It's just something different.
I love it.
We'll probably edit this part out because my definition of understanding is when you stand under what you believe, principle that you believe,
right,
with your life and let it crush you if you're wrong.
Yeah.
And then rebuild yourself back up and get a better understanding. Because if you start with the wrong belief, because your kinfolk told you, or your partner told you, or you watched the blog, or you seen it on TikTok, and then you operate in that fashion, this is where we end up with the guys who say, I spent $300,000, I spent $500,000, I bought a feature from blah, 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 and then I couldn't get it cleared. This is where we get all of those guys from who believe that in this billion-dollar business, all they got to do is make words rhyme.
Right.
Those are the people I'd rather not deal with. I don't talk to. You deal with everybody. You talk to everybody. You know, you kind of feel like I'm a little standoffish because I don't want to argue and I don't want to go back and forth. And I ain't know nothing about this shit. I'm from a very small town, so when I learned what I learned and had seen some success, I'd be so happy for the artists.
Can we help get this document to the people so they can see some of that success?
So,
do you see anything out here that may help you get some of that success you've tasted in the past?
So this is all of these pieces are pieces that are mandatory. And so just to say, I'm gonna get off of this touring checklist page, and go to the media contact page.
All right. Now, some of the things, don't forget, some of the people may only be listening. So I really want you to go to left to right on the FM dial and kind of give them, explain to them what you see. If there's something that jumps out at you and there's some words on there or a column or something, talk about it if it catches your attention, because I think it needs to be valuable. The people who are going to watch this podcast, the people who are going to see this and get these actionables, they're going to know. But the person that's going to be listening to this that doesn't know if what we're talking about is legit, make sure if there's anything that catches your attention, you talk about it. So media contact list. All right, we're coming over here. Talk to me.
So on the media contact list.
Right. This is nice.
Yeah, part of the question that an artist may have, or an artist may wonder, is what information do they collect? In this document, there's a suggestion for all the different pieces to collect.
Type, platform, contact, title, contact email, platform link, phone number, website submission link, social media link 1, 2, 3, and 4.
I ain't telling you to give them all of the information in the document for them to go make their own document.
Let them make it. They're going to watch the episode. We're going to watch the episode.
We cool with sharing. I don't want to seem like that because none of this stuff that we do is a government secret.
Not a military secret.
It's not a government secret.
We've just done the research and have failed at it enough to hopefully create something that you guys can use to not fail.
Well, and I'll say this also, with these same types of methods and steps that's in this document, the document does nothing for you except keep you organized and keep your work and your research organized. So like, what's next blueprint for the festival and touring? How many bookings is going to get me? How much money is going to make me? I don't know.
It may not make you anybody if you don't use it, if you don't fill out the lines into it, if you don't dive into it.
How hard you going to work? How much research you
No deposit, no return. And with anything, OG, a blueprint is exactly that. It tells you how the empire can be built. You still need skilled laborers, you still need materials, and you still need tools. And some of those tools we teach the people at Artist Academy. Some of those tools we provide those solutions for at artrevsoul.com, or we provide the strategies at the Artist Academy, which can also be accessed at artrevsoul.com.
Yes. And we got some good blog posts and messages and things. Blog posts and I say messages. Things that are a lot of actionables and how-tos on the site. And so with this this optimization, this what's next blueprint and this checklist, when we get to the platforms and you're figuring out who to contact, and your media communication tracker, because you want to find out. And before I forget, I wanted to say this. Just being honest. When you really want to know something, you figure it out.
Right. Of course.
And so when artists say they can't figure it out, then maybe you might be in the wrong thing. And I hate using the word wrong, but like a lot of things I fuck with, I can't figure out. And Kingpin will tell you. I'm somebody that I believe I can catch on to neuroscience with a briefing. Give me the book and I'll read it and I'll figure it out. And it don't work like that.
Excuse me.
For anybody. None of us. So before you quit in your mind saying that you can't do something or that something won't work, I want you to decide that you're going to do it. Once you decide, this is why the when and the where for me is first. When is it and where is it? Okay, cool. I can't make it to Alaska. All right, I'm in Chicago and that's in Atlanta. I'm not going to Atlanta. Or I'm in Florida and that's in New York in March. I'm not going up there to New York.
Are you ready for it, OG? Something that you may have overlooked.
What's that?
The What's Next blueprint. It kind of gives you a little foundation for that. I want you to go on over to market information, OG. And I want you to get a look at that. The very first box at the top of market information, it breaks down the regions.
So make sure you show this on the screen.
Okay.
For those people that are watching. And I'll explain this. I'll let you explain it too. The market information sheet is a list of every state in the United States.
Broken down by regions.
Hold on, my brother.
Come on with it. Okay, I'm gonna let you go in. I'm just gonna roll. I'm gonna roll the screen as you give the explanation. You're a little bit more eloquent in this process.
You can explain it as soon as I just described it.
Okay.
So the market information page, the market information sheet, has 50 states, all 50 states, divided by region. Below those 50 states is a place for you as an artist to go in your artist for Spotify, your amp at Pandora, your artist for Apple, your YouTube studio, and put in your top cities and locations. Okay? Then you go it on down, and there's places for you to put all this info in that's gonna calculate for you where your top cities are, where people watch you the most on YouTube, where people listen to you the most on Spotify. It breaks it down to you and gives you the divisions by region of the United States where you have the most or least listeners or the most or least presence. Okay. And then, armed with that information, you can make a better decision of when you're going somewhere and where you're going somewhere. The when can be based on you.
Right.
And when you're releasing some music and, it's Memorial Day is coming, Black Beach Week. I'm going to Myrtle Beach and I got a song coming out.
Right.
I'm going to wherever. That's a part of this market information sheet. But what I want you to do, Kingpin, is break down what's in this joint all the way on the market information,
right,
for the artist to be able to collect their information.
Well, one of the beautiful things about it, OG, and I forgive me if I say that word, but I think this is a document of beauty only because I'm always looking for this type of information when it comes to putting together reports and plans for our artists and our clients and some of the people that come to us for consultations. And oftentimes that information is never anywhere organized, or there's really no set way. Every platform doesn't have it listed the same. So we kind of wanted to take the guesswork out of it. So one of the things that we did is we created a document that we use and then turned that into a workable document that our listeners can use moving forward. So one of the things that's included, or a lot of the things that are included in the market information sheet, for example, the breakdown, Spotify streams, Pandora plays, Apple daily listeners, Apple Shazams, YouTube views, YouTube watch time, YouTube average time. Where am I going to get all that information from, Kingpin? Well, all of the YouTube metrics are available through your YouTube dashboard. Your Apple metrics are available, and Shazam, because they're apart together, they're available through your artist Apple dashboard. Pandora through your AMP dashboard. Spotify through your Spotify artist dashboard. So all of these things are accessible to all the artists and or CEOs or managers or distributors or service providers, investors, all of you guys can be added to these artist teams so you guys can log in and check your stats daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, and then update your report.
Now, for those artists who have management or consultation or what have you that aren't getting fed this information, we'll ask you what you're paying for.
You know, it's hard for most people that provide a service in this industry to provide a successful service, and I'll tell you why. Because most people that provide a service don't provide an analysis of what is needed in order for you to see success. Most people diagnose you without asking you what your symptoms are, without studying your family history, without knowing, is your family prone to diabetes? You know, or all of those are questions that when you go to a doctor, they ask you. When you go sit down to the lawyer, you go sit down for a new service, a new job, they ask you a whole bunch of questions so that they can kind of help categorize and organize what it is they got going on. So, you know, without having access to the right information, nobody can truly help you in this business. Right. In my humble opinion, for what it's worth. No. Only because I've seen people that have reached the success that some people would say is stardom, and they've missed out on some money. They've left some money on the table. They've left a whole bunch of opportunities on the table. And because they didn't have the information, or because they didn't know how to present the information, or any one of those combination of things, they miss out. And that's kind of like what this document is, you know, G. And that's why when I was looking around, I was kind of breaking down to you.
Okay, so right there, right? I thought I saw this earlier.
Right.
So I'm looking at a spreadsheet.
Right.
And what you're looking at is a Word document with explanations of what each box and column and row and page mean.
No, what you're looking at here, if you want to know what each column and row and cell and everything in that document means and how you could use every cell in there, you're going to want to sign up for the Artist Academy.
Okay, good.
Okay, you don't have time for the Artist Academy. You're picking up the Uncut Game Podcast. You want to listen. You like what we're talking about this episode, and some of the things that we mentioned in this episode really matter to you, but you don't have the time or the mental capacity to take a course, and you don't want to do any of those other things. Cool. Then we've made a way for you to understand that. We provide this 2-part, and I think you're probably going to call it a 3-part, but this 2-part companion, okay? And this 2-part companion is going to have additions with every podcast episode.
Okay.
Every podcast episode, we're building onto it. So this guide tells you briefly what you're looking at on the master checklist, and some of the things that we do to use those same tools to achieve those desired results that we're always talking about.
So, in the Artist Academy.
Yep.
The Artist Academy.
Talk to me.
16-week program.
Yes, sir.
Inside of that 16-week program, there's the festival and touring portion.
Everything.
Okay, so hold up. Now, so there's the festival and touring portion. There's the getting more streams portion or claims. There's
more on the festivals and tourings is for those guys that have already started their process of being an artist and have access to some of these platforms, because they're going to want to use the market information tab to add some of those Spotify numbers that they get from their Spotify for Artists, their Spotify for Artists dashboard. They're going to want to add some of those metrics from the Apple Music for Artists dashboard or the Pandora app dashboard. So this is for the ones that can imagine it, have some basic understanding of what it takes. Do you know that when you go perform, you need to know your song? You need to get on a stage. You want to be put on a flyer. You want to be listed on a site. So all of those I wants are clearly defined here with the how do you achieve those wants. Gathering all of this information, OG, just having access to your Spotify for Artists.
Call me Tony.
Tony. One of the there's no benefit to having access to your Spotify for Artists if you don't know what to do with the information that you're looking at.
All right, so this is what I want to do. I want to zoom out.
Okay.
From this festival touring optimization sheet.
Right.
And I want to just look at it more broadly because we're talking about the Artist Academy.
Right.
How long in the Artist Academy does the festival touring optimization classes, how long do they last?
Every course, festival touring is around your live shows and performances.
Okay.
Which is one dedicated course, one dedicated segment. Our classes are scheduled, and our curriculum is listed as a 16-week course.
Okay.
Every week you're learning a different facet and how to tie it in to the week before. Because in order to understand how it all works, you have to have access to all of the basics, so that when you can get to this level for the touring and the live shows and all of those things, all of the information that you're going to want to add to your spreadsheets and to your documents and to your trackers, you will already have had access to. If you feel you don't need any of that, you already have some, you don't need all of it. You like some of the things we were talking about, some of them matter to you, some of them don't. That's why I said explain it to the people, because the ones that aren't listening, we may have some over-the-road drivers, we may have some Uber drivers, some Door Dashers, some Uber eaters. If we have any of these people that are making a living out of a car, living in a car, and are just listening to us while we're moving around, and they're trying to get to the next level and they want some free game, tell them what it is that we're looking at, because they just may want that. And you know what? I don't want to stop those people from having access to the information. I want them to be able to access it, and if they want to come back, they'll be able to preview these episodes. All of these episodes are going to be available 24 hours on demand. Every episode, we're giving you a guide. Every episode, we're giving you an addition to the master document. There's a reason to tune in next week. There's a reason to tune in the week after that. I'm not going to give it all to you at one whop. I'm not blowing my wad, but I'm giving you more than you've ever gotten from anybody else to show you that you'll want to tune in next week. Because if this is what I gave you on week 1 and it's only going to get bigger and better, what's next? Right? That's the whole, that's the mantra.
All right. So
what's next?
All right. So just let's stay zoomed out.
Right.
From with me. I'm understanding where we're going with this. Stay zoomed out with me. So boom. Each module of this 16-week course, I just call them modules. Each segment of this 16-week course comes with a spreadsheet like I'm looking at, and an explanation guide like that's on your page.
Yep.
And then you mentioned earlier that I may call it a 3-part document, because, and that makes it a package.
Right.
But still, it's not going to affect the price, whatever we decide it's going to be.
I'm going to give you the links.
So hold on, brother. Just make sure that I'm understanding to say this for the people that may be interested in, because we share a lot of information that people can just use.
Right.
Now, also, we have these things that are they're for sale to the general public.
Right.
Where have generally been word of mouth, bespoke company, took a referral to work with us collectively. So now
we were quietly building warriors, and now we're publicly building an army.
That's whatever. Whatever we want to call it.
That's what I'm calling it, OG, because we're getting ready to flip the table over and move some furniture around in this piece. And once we start giving out some, OG, I've got lawyers ready to join me on these conversations.
Okay.
I've got not 1, not 2, 3 distributor owners, not the reps, not the people who pick up the phone. And don't get me started on who I'm going to get you to call. Oh, I've got that wish list ready. These are people that I don't want them to get up here and argue with me or spar with me. I want them to get up here and I want them to go fact for fact with me. Because at the end of the day, knowledge is power only when applied. We started the episode off with that, and we're going to end the episode off with that. We're going to give you the information. We're going to give you the examples. We're going to give you the layout. And then in most cases, we're going to give you the systems, the links to the platforms and the websites that we use to get some of this publicly available information.
All right, so boom. All right, so this leads me to a question that you can give me a yes or no answer.
Come on.
Not that I'm trying to cut you off, I just want, because it sounds like a lot. Like it sounds like, oh wow, that's too good to be true.
Right.
It really is simply access to these systems and then explanations for how to use them. For us, it's simple because it's what we do every day.
Correct.
And so it's definitely invaluable information.
OG, what if somebody buys this and says, you know what, I need a consultation? You know what we do? They go to artrevsoul.com. They can move around the website, and they can find the information about consultations. They can get a free artist audit to see if they even need this.
Can I draw you in before you
come
go there?
on,
Can we draw you in, just please? because I'm just trying to define the first week of the Artist Academy.
Right.
It's going to come with a master checklist like this.
Every class comes with a checklist.
Just let me
Everyone.
Let me finish asking the question, brother. I understand you ready to get started.
Come on.
I'm just trying to get the full.
I'm eager.
I'm trying to get a full.
We're wasting time. Come on.
Yes or no on this question of clarification. Each segment comes with a master checklist.
Yep.
A guide that explains how to use the checklist.
Yep. Well, the checklist is everything that you'll need or you'll want to have access to before the course.
Hold on, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Mm-hmm. It comes with a checklist of what you'll need to complete the course.
Yes.
Okay. To participate and complete the course.
Correct.
Okay. It comes with a guide on how to fill out the checklist so that you can participate.
That's absolutely correct.
Properly in the course at your own pace.
Yes.
And it also comes with a resources guide that tells you the exact places to go if you're just getting started and have never claimed any of your artist profiles and have never tried to do any promotion. You've just been freestyling it as a veteran, or you just want to start figuring out this part. So there's a resource guide that gives you all of the same links that you or I would use.
Correct.
To correct this. There's a optimization guide that explains how to use the tools and the spreadsheet. That's a checklist to make sure that all of.
Are you asking me or telling me it sounds like?
I'm asking to make sure that I understand this 100%. That this.
What part of we have everything do you not understand?
Everything is.
You guys are gonna love this podcast because me and this we're gonna go at it a bunch of times. What about this? Don't you understand? We got it all from A to Z. Artist services, solutions, and strategies. And when you sign up for the class, you're not coming to sit in a room or sit on a Zoom and listen to people bark at you. You're coming in to be shown what gets done, how it gets done, and you're given the step-by-step and information so that you in turn can do it yourself. Once you complete the course, you'll have access to the alumni access, which means you can access all of these episodes and all of these courses 24 hours, 7 days a week for as long as you're active and meeting the alumni eligibility.
Okay.
Anything more that you want as an individual service, you don't want that, it's for sale. Any type of course, any type of optimization document, any type of cheat sheet, it's for sale. If you haven't completed the courses, you won't get the course-specific guides. You won't get the course-specific documents.
Okay.
You gotta go to school, baby, to get it all.
Gotcha. So, at the same time that it's a 16-week course.
Yes.
If I say them claims, that F.A.C.T.S, I'm trying to get straight to my merch.
Yep.
You got a number for me to get my merch.
Absolutely.
My whole merch package that I need.
There's a web optimization
as if I
service.
went to school and I could attend the class for the merch class and get all of my stuff and the tools and resources for the Shopify and the different spots. Mm-hmm. And then I can just bail with that Shopify with my merch play and go and go on about my business.
Get it and
then
go.
If I want some touring and some festivals, I could come back
at your leisure.
Chop out for that because I got the rest of the game. I don't really need all of that other shit you selling, Kingpin. I feel what you talking about and all that other stuff, but a lot of that technical stuff
come when you want.
I don't really need it for me. You know, type of I don't really need it.
Come when you want.
But if for the artists that are also studious, for the managers, the investors, for those people that have a desire to learn, once they enroll and begin their eligibility, they got access to the whole academy.
They got access to everything up to the courses they've completed. Once you've completed the course, you've unlocked it 24 hours, 7 days a week at your leisure.
Oh, so you complete this course. So once you start taking the course, you start getting the documents that you need to get prepared. That's what the tools and resources are for. And then the checklist, is a spreadsheet to put all the information in. And that's something that once that's completed, then we begin.
Every week, it doesn't stop. And that's why a 16-week course is right about the sweet spot, because in the midst of that 16-week course, you're going to drop a record, and we're going to help you. You're going to drop a video, and we're going to help you. You're going to launch your website and your merch, and we're going to help you, because some of the different things that we're doing, we haven't even mentioned the Teacher's Pet program. More about that later. There's another episode for that. studies, and we're going to be open up, and we're going to ask for volunteers, people that are enrolled in the program and aren't an artist, but they are releasing a brand. So they're going to volunteer their optimization and everything they've learned up until that press release course, so that they can be the one that is used for an example for optimization, so they can get a press release service out of the Artist Academy. There's just going to be so many things. It's all engagement. It's all interactive. No deposit, no return. If you put in $3 and you leave with your $3 worth of information. If you put in the hard work and you complete the course, you have access to everything in the course 24 hours, 7 days a week. It'll be like you work with us.
I like the sound of that, bro. I like the sound of it.
So you think we can do this every week? I got the first 10 weeks already locked in the can. You think we can do this every week?
I guess we can do it. Yes, I believe we can do it.
Well, you know who we're talking about next week?
We're talking about
Rolling Loud.
We're talking about and we're talking about
you guys are gonna want to see episode 2.
Talking about A$AP Rocky.
We're talking about that. A$AP Rocky is episode 3. Episode 2, we're breaking down Jello. Listen, it was a crazy weekend. South by Southwest, Rolling Loud, right? But Rolling Loud didn't have just one moment. Rolling Loud had a couple moments. Jello just got a $13 million deal. Just shut down Rolling Loud premiering new music. I want to talk about it.
Okay.
Flacco was hanging out of a helicopter. Flacco just he performed new music in front of the podium at the court after the flag. It's going crazy. It's everywhere. I want to talk about it. I want to know how it went down. I want the artists, I want the people that are watching this to say, you know what, okay, Kingpin gave us the festivals and all that stuff, but if they've been listening, some of the things that we're talking about, they also are impacted by artists like Jello and this is a new artist that came out of left field, been putting out music for about a year, right, at the top of the hill. And this is an established artist, been putting out music for quite some time, and is the 91 ranked artist in the world according to Spotify. I think both of their viral moments deserve a discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll
Episode 2. Uncut Game Podcast. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Remember, we're going to keep growing. We're going to keep developing and changing. We just wanted to get started to show you guys that there's never a perfect time to get started. But right now is the ideal time for you and for us. So we had to give you the game, man. It's your boy Kingpin, Rap Juggernaut.
This is Tony. I'm the Connect Gidry, man.
Don't call him OG.
Please don't call me.
Uncut Game Podcast, artrepsoul.com. Artists, go get your free audit, man. We're waiting on it.